Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to be taking you through downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, if you do have wrist or knee injuries, it would probably be best to avoid doing this pose unless you have sought relevant medical advice and there has been alternative options that have been provided to you. I will, of course, show some modifications and variations to this pose that may be of benefit, but I always like to highlight that at the beginning. Now, downward facing dog is often seen as a resting pose. That is not the case. Well, not in my eyes, it's not the case. There are many times when I decide to actually skip downward facing dog because it can be too much depending on the practice that I'm doing. So as an alternative, I may come down into, a child's pose, or I may make my way to the top of the mat in a different way that doesn't involve downward facing dog. So let's get into it. So we're going to come to the front of our mat, so tabletop pose. And instead of our feet being pressed into the mat, we're actually going to come up onto our toes. And we're going to start to lift the knees off the ground and push the weight backwards into our heels. Now, if your heels don't touch the ground, that's fine. Your heels might be here. You do also have the option to bend at the knees as well and use that if you need to. Arms stretched out in front of you, head, torso in between your arms, gazing down in between your legs. And that's downward facing dog. Now, alternatively, what you may wish to do is bring in some blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can be creative, bring in some books, for example. And so you can also use the blocks to rest your palms on them, which just supports with that lift and that stretch. So again, your heels may be down, they may be lifted, or your legs might be bent. Now that shape of your body, it should be like an upside down L shape, okay? That might not be the case for everyone. And if it's not, it's okay. This is not about perfection. I do not view yoga about perfection and lines being perfect. At the end of the day, every single one of us has different bodies, and therefore we have to do what's right for our bodies and making sure that we're doing it safely. Now, alternatively, what you can do, and I think this video might be a bit low, the height. So you can actually do a half down dog against the wall. So basically you would be standing and then your hands would just be pressed into the wall. And that's also an alternative as well. So there is always options. Always listen to your body. Any pain, discomfort, whatever the case may be, read those signs, pay attention to them and adapt. So that's downward facing dog, and I hope that this video has helped you with your practice. Thank you so much for watching.